Chelsea have been dealt a blow in their bid to land Napoli striker Victor Osimhen. The Blues have been heavily linked with the Nigeria international, who has scored 76 goals in 132 appearances for Napoli and is expected to leave the club at the end of the season. Osimhen has a release clause of £110 million, which Chelsea will find difficult to meet. But Chelsea bosses know they need to make a big investment to strengthen their attack, and they see Osimhen as their main target. He has given informal approval to move after months of contact between the clubs and between Chelsea and the player. However, Italian journalist Walter DiMaggio denied this and claimed Osimhen actually preferred to join Arsenal rather than Chelsea. DiMaggio said on Kiss Kiss Napoli, "Napoli will evaluate Arab's offer for Osimhen. Actually, he is waiting for Arsenal, but if a real proposal does not come, he will evaluate the offer from Saudi Arabia." Ian Maatsen has been linked with a move away from the club at the end of the season. Chelsea are under financial pressure at the moment, and they have to balance the books and comply with the Premier League's financial regulations. Selling a homegrown prospect like Maatsen would register as pure profit, and it would be a huge boost for them financially. Recent reports claim that they are ready to sell the defender in the summer. However, journalist Suleiman Ozturk has now given a warning to the Blues, as Mehmet Oranja said that Maatsen is an extraordinary talent with a bright future and can develop into a world-class player. He said, "If you look at Maatsen, you really see a lot of potential. He is someone who has added a lot to Dortmund in just a few months. For a young player just getting to that level, it's impressive how much talent he has to play with. From an attacking point of view, I think it's very world-class potential. You only need 50 to 100 games before you really do it. Maatsen is still very young. Of course, he also had extraordinary talent. When he has the ball, Maatsen doesn't get nervous." People around the world are shocked by the Chelsea manager rumours they heard. The Guardian claims that Leicester City's Enzo Maresca, Ipswich Town's Kieran McKenna, and Brentford's Thomas Frank are still on Chelsea's managerial list. It seems there is one thing about the hunt for Chelsea's next manager that has shocked some in the football industry. The Independent reports that the level of interest in Ipswich's Kieran McKenna at this stage of his managerial career has come as a real surprise to everyone in the world of football. It is understood the 38-year-old boss is receiving real interest from Premier League clubs Chelsea, Manchester United and Brighton. When you consider that McKenna is a young manager who has never managed a top division club before, it is somewhat surprising that many of the established teams in the Premier League like him so far. The man from Northern Ireland has only served as senior manager for less than 3 years since leaving his role as assistant at Man United. However, he built up quite a strong CV in the lower leagues with one club. McKenna achieved back-to-back promotions as Ipswich boss from League One to the Premier League. In particular, finishing second in the Championship this year ahead of the likes of Leeds United and Southampton is impressive when you compare the teams. Palmeiras manager confirms Estevao Willian's move to the Blues. Chelsea have been in the headlines over the past few weeks as there has been constant speculation about the arrival of Brazilian Messi, labelled Messinho. The Brazilian is considered one of the best young talents in world football, and Chelsea are desperate to beat the likes of Barcelona to a deal for the young striker, who cannot join the club until the summer of 2025. Chelsea are understood to have agreed an initial €40 million deal for the 17-year-old. But the fee will increase substantially if a number of easily achievable performance targets are met. There is no doubt that Messinho is a talent of the future and a young man capable of playing well, but he is still too young to come to the Premier League with a club like Chelsea. He'll probably be out on loan for the next few seasons when he officially joins London. But if he's given the chance to shine, he could be a good long-term investment for the Blues, that's for sure. But as we said, he's not ready to make an impact at Chelsea in the next few seasons, that's for sure. Gallagher could leave Chelsea after Pochettino's departure. Chelsea need to sell players to balance the books, and with Pochettino gone, Gallagher could be sold to bring in some much-needed cash. Gallagher has a fan in Jurgen Klopp, with the now departed former Liverpool boss praising the midfielder when he was on loan at Crystal Palace. Gallagher emerged as one of Pochettino's key midfielders last season, making 37 league appearances and scoring 5 goals. The Reds have been linked with Gallagher over the past year or so. Even after the close of last summer's transfer window, with Liverpool having signed 4 new midfielders, the England international was still tipped for a move to Anfield. Chelsea must comply with the Premier League's PSR regulations by June 30th, and will therefore likely have to release the player immediately. Gallagher graduated from Chelsea's youth academy, meaning his sale would represent pure profit for the Stamford Bridge club. Liverpool.com says, Gallagher has always been respected by Klopp, but with the German's departure from Anfield, it is unclear whether Slot shares the same opinion. However, if Liverpool want to make an approach for him, they can sign him for a relatively cheap price, considering he only has 1 year remaining on his contract. Chelsea are considering recruiting Seb Honas from Stuttgart. Fabrizio Romano believes that completing a deal for Honas will be a challenge. Chelsea's decision to part ways with Mauricio Pochettino has spread rumours quickly, with a number of managers linked with the vacancy at Stamford Bridge ahead of next season. And while the Blues are considering a move for their next manager, reports have named Stuttgart boss Sebastian Hoeneß with the job, although Fabrizio Romano believes that any deal that takes him to West London will be difficult to complete. Hoeneß dragged Stuttgart to a surprising second place in the Bundesliga, finishing above Bayern Munich on the final day of the season. The 42-year-old has completely turned their fortunes around after they narrowly avoided relegation to the second tier via last season's relegation playoffs, and with star Serhou Guirassy and Brighton loanee Dennis Undav leading the line with a combined 44 goals between them. The Bundesliga, which means Champions League football, will be held at the Mercedes-Benz Arena in the coming months. This has Chelsea interested, but Romano believes any deal that takes him to the English capital is increasingly unlikely. Romano said, "One of the names I heard was Sebastian Hoeneß at Stuttgart, a very talented coach who was highly rated at Chelsea and considered by some to be someone who would be one of the next great managers. However, he has already told Bayern that his intention is to continue at Stuttgart, so it's not easy, but Chelsea really appreciate it." At Chelsea, defensive solidity has been a perennial concern in recent seasons. Even though it looked promising, a lack of consistency and resilience at the back has hindered the team's progress. Araujo's arrival will provide a much-needed injection of quality and reassurance, offering the club a reliable defensive pillar from which to build a more assertive back line. One of Araujo's most prominent attributes is his versatility. Capable of operating as both a centre-back and right-back, he offers the Blues flexibility to adapt to different tactical setups and formations. Whether used as part of a back four or in a more fluid back three formation, Araujo's adaptability adds a new dimension to Chelsea's defensive strategy, giving the manager the option to adapt his approach based on the opponent and match situation. Araujo's defensive prowess is complemented by his ability to contribute offensively, especially in set-piece situations. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches, he poses a significant threat in the opposition box, both defensively and offensively. His aerial dominance gives Chelsea additional attacking opportunities during set-piece situations, potentially increasing their goal-scoring threat from set-piece situations. In a Chelsea squad currently in transition, Araujo's presence could have a stabilizing influence, instilling confidence and discipline within the defensive unit. What's more, Araujo's age and potential for further development makes him not just a short-term solution, but also a long-term investment for the Blues. By securing Araujo's services, Chelsea will not only meet their defensive needs, but also lay the foundations for continued success in the years to come. His combination of defensive solidity, tactical versatility, and leadership qualities make him the ideal candidate to shore up Chelsea's back line and provide the foundation for a more formidable defensive unit.